It was a stormy night when I found myself standing outside a seemingly ordinary convenience store on the edge of town. The neon sign flickered eerily, casting an ominous glow on the rain, slicked pavement. Despite the downpour, an inexplicable compulsion drove me to enter the dimly lit store. The bell above the door jingled as I stepped inside, the sound echoing in the empty silence that hung heavy in the air. Shelves lined with snacks and drinks stood in organized rows, but something felt off about the arrangement. The fluorescent lights hummed softly, casting unsettling shadows that danced on the walls. I wandered deeper into the store, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. As I reached the back, my gaze was drawn to a small, unassuming door tucked away in a corner. It was slightly ajar, a thin line of darkness inviting me to explore further. Against my better judgment, I pushed the door open. The room beyond was unlike anything I could have imagined. Shelves upon shelves stretched into the distance, each stocked with items that seemed both ordinary and otherworldly. Candles that emitted a haunting glow, jars filled with swirling liquids, and bizarre trinkets that defied explanation filled the space. The air was thick with an unsettling energy, and an inexplicable unease settled in my chest. As I ventured further into the room, the shadows seemed to deepen, the shelves growing taller and more labyrinthine. A sense of disorientation washed over me, as if the room itself was shifting and morphing. I felt watched, as though unseen eyes were following my every move. Amidst the strange collection of items, I noticed a peculiar mirror hanging on one wall. It was ornate, its frame carved with intricate designs that seemed to writhe and shift. My reflection stared back at me, but something was wrong. It wasn't my face. The reflection grinned at me, its eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. I stumbled back, my heart pounding. The room seemed to close in around me, the shelves crowding in as if to suffocate me. Panic surged through my veins, and I turned to flee, but the door I had entered through was gone. The walls of the room seemed to pulse, the air thickening as if it had a life of its own. Whispers echoed in my ears, unintelligible and haunting, as if a chorus of unseen voices was taunting me. Desperation clawed at my throat as I searched for an escape. I stumbled through the shifting shelves, my breaths coming in ragged gasps. The mirror loomed before me once again, the grinning reflection beckoning me with a bony finger. I was trapped, ensnared in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. But then, just as I was on the brink of despair, a distant glimmer caught my eye. An exit sign. I sprinted towards it, the room twisting and distorting around me. With every step, the whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices urging me to stay. I ignored them, driven by a primal instinct to survive. Finally, I burst through the exit door, stumbling out into the stormy night. The convenience store stood before me, its neon sign flashing as if nothing had happened. I collapsed on the wet pavement, my heart still racing from the ordeal. Was it a nightmare? A hallucination brought on by exhaustion? I couldn't be sure. But one thing was certain. I would never forget the whispers of the midnight mart, the otherworldly room that had nearly consumed me in its dark embrace. And as I walked away from that sinister place, I couldn't shake the feeling that it still lingered, waiting to ensnare the next unsuspecting soul drawn to its mysterious depths.